Well, let's talk now to the man who literally wrote the book about Ace Magashule, Pieter-Louis Myburgh, the author of the book Gangster State. Pieter-Louis, good afternoon to you. A large part of your book, and we understand the charges that Ace Magashule may face, relate to this asbestos project. How is he implicated in this from what you understand?
Good afternoon, Stephen. So, long story short, there's this 2014 contract awarded by the Free State's Department of Human Settlements for what was essentially a roof counting exercise. They always did asbestos roofs. And leaked documents that I had tried to analyze, it indicated that Mr. Magashule's PA, was essentially begging or directing some of the funds from Egon Bambani beneficiaries in the direction of third parties who Ace Magashule had nominated to receive some of these funds.
So it would seem then, I mean, based on the evidence in your book, is it possible to assess at this stage the strength of the evidence that the prosecutors will be able to present against Mr. Magashule?
Yes, certainly, Stephen, I'll be very wary to proffer a legal opinion, given the fact that I'm a journalist and not a qualified lawyer. But I would say that South African legislation provides for curbing certain financial flows, money laundering, and dealings that might appear to be corrupt, especially related to state funds. So we've got the Public Finance Management Act. We do have the Prevention and Combating of Corrupt Activities Act, that's PRECA. And these pieces of legislation provides for, prosecuting somebody who may have directed money flows that can be said to have been the proceeds of corruption. And by the looks of it, that might be the kind of corruption-related charges that Mr. Magashule might face now.
Peter, it's Yanda here from the Politics Desk. Now, you've obviously been following, the story of the Free State for a long time. And what I'm very particularly interested in is the shift in the political environment within the Free State that's emboldened some ANC members to actually finally, after decades of Ace Magashule's rule, to stand up against him and march against him. What do you think changed?
So you guys are asking me to wear two hats today, a lawyer and a political analyst. But, I was just kind of judging by the reaction that's kind of streaming onto my phone and through other messaging platforms at the moment. Certainly individuals who have walked inside the political camp, the Ace Magashule camp for many, many years, even decades, and have subsequently, moved to other groupings. I believe earlier, your channel, for instance, spoke to Mr. Msolisi Dukwana, if I'm not mistaken, who has appeared at the commission. These are individuals who have for many, many years already, proffered or shown the authorities these suggestions or indications of corruption. And they've always been politically disenfranchised almost to an extent. And, their positions nullified by a very powerful political machination that had been grouped around Mr. Magashule. I would venture to say in the year 2020, in an era when we've got a sitting ANC president that rode into power on a ticket of battling corruption, it might be a very, something that comes very close to being a death blow politically for someone like Magashule if they manage to successfully prosecute him on corruption, considering the fact that cleaning up house seems to be, at least, on paper and on face value, a top priority for the party he belongs to and for that party's president.
Ace Magashule is not, as you write in your book, he's not without allies. I mean, it's likely that there'll be people in the Free State who've had long associations with him, who are still with him, who are going to come out in support of him. I mean, people who would also, to use your version, to benefit from the web of patronage.
Yeah, certainly, Stephen, but the ANC is a party in which the political winds shift not on a day-to-day basis, but almost hourly. So, you know very well that outside the Thule House on the very same day, one might see rival ANC political factions either protesting for or against somebody like Ace Magashule. But I would venture to say the groundswell support does not really appear to be that strong anymore. And I take that reading based on, developments, for instance, that occurred at my book launch for Gangster State in Sandton City, where, it was a grouping of people who appear to have been ferried in by, a couple of buses, and who very clearly, many of them didn't appear to have really much of an inkling of what they were really there to protest for. So one does get this idea that maybe there's a bit of a manufactured court base for Premier Magashule, and only Friday's court appearance will really tell how authentic court base, especially on the ground in the Free State, really is, and especially considering the fact that it's not a province which has always, inside the political grouping and inside the ANC, that has always lent wholesale support for Mr. Magashule. There have always been camps inside the party, never mind the parties, that have been vehemently opposed to the kind of governance Magashule enforced in the Free State of Kenya.